Alright guys, if anybody joins, I'm trying to get everything worked out. It's been a little while since I've done a live.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me.
Yep, that's good.
Volume on. Does it show you how many people's on it?
Like 3 or 4, I think, so
It
it
don't
should.
show up on mine.
It's showing 8 right now.
I don't know why I don't show that here on the computer. Y'all stick with us. I'm trying to figure all this out. It's only been a year since we've done a live stream.
You scroll down. 7 right now.
I guess you may just have to pull yours up. If anybody's here, I don't know, you guys may not be able to comment. If somebody wants to comment, make sure I can actually see.
Make sure that you can hear us too.
Let's see the live chat.
There's name.
Let's see comments, comment. All right, everybody. Well, we get some folks in here. We'll get going with this. We got Coleman and I here. If y'all got any questions for us or anything. As far as I know, we're doing good, Jordan. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, I guess. I've been going on vacation and getting back and trying to get everything kind of caught up and keep some videos going for you guys. And we're trying to get this live going. It's took me the last 20 minutes to try to figure out how to do it, and I've messed it up 3 times. So hopefully I've got it now. Maybe. Let me know if anybody comments anything. I'm gonna make sure I get that the right. Let's see here. Make sure I get the right link in that post I put earlier. I've only had to change it twice now. In case anybody actually wants to come talk to us off Facebook. All right, so how's everybody been? Everybody's farming go good this year. I know Matt, I think he's from Maryland. I think that's right. I don't know a couple of these folks. Uh, 2025 is it's been pretty good to us, wouldn't you say? We've
had ups and downs.
We've had some of the best crops we've ever had, some of the worst we've ever had. It's a good little mix. We had, I think we had around 75 acres of corn this year, and then we had somewhere in the neighborhood of what did we end up about 50 full season bean acres, I think, and then somewhere around 65 double crop soybean acres.
Of Luke's that he is tending by himself. Now he's had some that he's kind of like shared with another guy.
So Jordan says he enjoys my videos. First time he saw me was on Matt Griggs' channel working on the cotton picker. Yeah, that was a fun trip. I need to plan something else with him. Get back up there. I'd love to get up there during cotton harvest or wheat harvest or corn or bean harvest or something, but that's our busy time of the year as well, so it's kind of hard to sneak out of North Carolina and get over there, but that was a fun trip. It was neat, and it's amazing how similar their topography is to ours. The ground's very similar. I'd say our weather patterns are pretty similar. I think they might get a little colder quicker than we do. And then, like, between their fields and up there, they've got some just major ditches. I mean, like, probably 15, 20-foot ditches, it seems like. And around here, you don't really have that much. They've definitely got a lot of terraces and stuff that we don't have.
Well, he says it's dry in northeast Arkansas. I'm guessing where that's at. It's
dry
drier than heck here.
We've had
Usually during this time of the year, it's mud season out here, not anything else, and we don't have any mud standing right now, so there's dust flying.
We've probably had an inch of rain in the last
2 months.
something like that. I mean, not much at all. I mean, we could definitely use some moisture. Our wheat's struggling a little bit. And we go from I think it was
75 last Friday. Monday morning, it was 20 degrees.
It's just absolutely bizarre, our weather. It just doesn't make any sense, and you don't know what it's going to do.
I mean, it's going to be up in the 60s, I think, the rest of the week. So.
Yeah, that about figures.
Yep. Well, no, it's going to be in the 50s this week.
Okay.
Next Saturday, will be in the 60s again.
How many people we got in here?
I showed about 20 on mine.
I don't know why I might not pull up and load all. Oh, okay, it's down here. See Chris Fur down there. Chris, I got to call you back. I hadn't had time this evening. I'm assuming that's the same Chris Fur anyway.
What about, so which Chris Fur is that? Is that the Cornheader one, or is that Peterbilt one?
That's the Peterbilt Chris Fur. I don't think the other Chris Fur watches this.
Well, if it is that Chris Fur, we sold your header this year.
Yeah.
It went down the road.
We've upgraded some equipment this year. If you guys have been watching long, if you haven't been watching long, you'll see a little bit of a glimpse of all that in the video that'll follow this. We're gonna have it's like a recap video. Just kind of going over the highlights and stuff of this year. I think it ended up being like 25 or 30 minutes long. I really enjoyed making the one last year. I about talked myself out of making one this year. But then as I thought about making it again, I went back and watched the one from last year, and I realized that I enjoy having that to look back on, and I thought it was neat. So made another one for this year, and like I said, we've purchased several pieces of equipment this year. We purchased our planter, combine,
header,
Peterbilt.
Headers.
We bought a 20-foot header, grain header for the combine. We bought a newer 6-row 693 corn header. Bought the grain cart.
Dump trailer.
Yeah, the dump trailer and the Peterbilt. We also bought the Massey Ferguson inline 1840 square baler and the accumulator. I think that's.
This was the year to grow.
Up,
the last 4 years, we've just done minor upgrades, and so we've had a surplus of money this year, so we found good deals and stuff, so we bought everything this year. Probably won't upgrade much next year, but.
Well, surely somebody here's got some questions for us, so we don't just sit here and ramble.
Yeah, you guys comment. We can't, this live stream's gonna be absolutely pointless if it's just us sitting here talking to each other, so.
I'm gonna move this up there and get it where I can actually look at my computer.
Things sliding down, like, sliding down. And there you go.
All right. Jordan says he likes your older truck you bought. Well,
I'm sorry to say, but that truck's down the road.
Yeah, the older truck has been sold. Coleman wasn't a real big fan of the juice brakes, just the hydraulic brakes. It wasn't that great at stopping. It was a really nice truck though.
It was a good truck between fields, but that's about it. And the way we're running around like a chicken with our head cut off nowadays, I need something that I can actually depend on. And if, say, somebody I have to hire out sometime to haul litter or something, I feel comfortable driving. I didn't trust that truck for somebody else to get into it.
It was a really nice old truck though. I mean, you don't find many like that.
It was a good show truck. It wasn't one of them trucks you'd want to drive anywhere. It was just a good around here truck.
It cranked and ran good.
Oh, it's by far the best running gas truck I've ever seen of that age. That truck was the previous owner. He's unbelievably how particular he is on the stuff.
And I mean, I don't know how long it had been since the guy had cranked it when we went and looked at it, but I mean, as soon as he flipped the switch, that thing cranked right up.
Yeah.
Had brakes. Most time you leave an old gas burner truck with juice brakes sitting, the brake fluid will leak out somewhere, and you have to fill it up, and it just turns into a nightmare. But this truck, I mean, it started right up, the brakes worked, and the dump worked good. It made somebody a really nice truck.
I didn't sell it because it was a turd. It's just the fact of I wanted something that I can drive, and I got a rock truck now, so that's what I wanted. Wow.
So Wilson Gaming Adventures. Any advice in the world of small squares? I've been doing 30 acres of grass hay the past few years. We're up to 130 for the next year. Thinking square it all currently. Racks behind baler. Thoughts? So what are you wanting advice on? Because we're nowhere near that big of a scale in the small square. If you've got the storage for it and you've got the manpower to handle that, I mean, there's some real money to be made in the small square market, at least in my opinion, around here. I don't know where you're from, but
around here, if you could put up alfalfa, that'd be the best thing as far as profit-wise, but I don't know how much help you have. That's going to be the biggest thing with putting it up by hand is just how fast can you get it out of the field.
That's a lot of bales, and you got to have the storage too, because I mean, depending on what kind of yields you see out wherever you're from, I mean, 130 acres, that's a lot of small squares.
You put up 50 bales on 130 acres, that's
I would definitely.
That's 6,500 bales you're going to put up if you only get one cutting off of it. It took us, 3 or 4 days that first year we put straw up, and we didn't have 800 or 900 bales.
What kind of equipment are you running? Do you have like what kind of baler, or are you running some type of accumulator setup, or, I mean, surely you're not going to try to get up all 130 by hand. If you are, you're a lot better man than me.
Well, I think you said like a hay wagon, I'm thinking. One of them ones that it throws it up into it, I guess.
Oh my gosh. I mean, for 130 acres, I think you could probably do it kind of with our setup with the accumulator.
Oh, yeah, for sure. As long as you have the time.
You're going to have some time and some people, but.
You can do it by hand. I mean, it's a lot of work.
We put up, I think, around 3,200 square bales of straw this year. What would it take us? Probably 2 or 3 days? 4 days?
I'd say so.
It was kind of, hit or miss. I mean, when we're doing our straw, typically I'm running the combine, and then typically we try to have someone. This year it was Coleman behind us in the baler. Try to keep that baler running constant because the combine's going to outrun the baler. And then, this year, being we had the accumulator, we were automatically putting them in the 10 bale bundles as we were going. So that made that probably.
That as far as biggest upgrades, that by far is the biggest upgrade if it works 100% of the time, because it takes that man that has to get out and accumulate them. It takes that man out of the picture. I mean, it saves so much time if it's working right. Now, ours this year gave me some fits, but it's one of the things you're gonna have issues with it. It's a mechanical machine. So
you got, if you got that, if you got a real good small square baler, and then an accumulator, all right. I would say the next biggest thing would be, we don't have one yet, but I'm wanting to, is a tie grapple, which will basically take your 10, your 15, whatever group. If I had to go back and redo it again, I'd probably go with a 15 or 18 on their sides. But anyway, it can take and pick up those, gather them, your accumulator will gather them into the 15 or 18, 10 bundle, whatever stacks. And then this machine will go in and it actually has hydraulics. It'll squeeze them and then it puts a row of twine around them so that the bales won't fall apart, which would be, just amazing for hauling. Luckily, like this year, we're basically baling the straw in the field where we're, right beside the barn, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But that's going to be something we're going to be looking at in the future as far as upgrading. That way, we don't have to worry as much about bales falling. We don't have to be as particular when we load it on a trailer about just making sure they're really tight and square and everything. But personally, I would probably go that kind of route. At 130 acres, if you've got the room and the shed sizes, stack wagons work good. I know a lot of people use them, but I would say if you had to start from scratch, I would say the accumulator route.
if you've got the truck, the trailer, and the storage, you got to have storage. If you don't have storage, you might as well throw your hay out and light it on fire. It's no good. So storage first, and then you got to figure out your transportation if it's spread out, which all of our fields are. So
Bill Morris asked if we ever think we're going to get into cotton farming. Bill, I
if I hit the lottery,
I don't ever see it just because the equipment is so expensive, and
we're not in a very good spot either for it. There's people around here that cut cotton, but Really around here, we're not quite southern enough for it.
I hope there's like money in it, but just from an outside perspective, never having grown it, I just don't see how it pencils out. I mean, especially a year like this. And I mean, the equipment that we could afford, we'd have to have, the old style with a basket. Then we'd have to have a bowl buggy probably. Then we'd have to have a module builder. And to me, it's just, I'd rather just stick to beans and corn and we may eventually get to a point in the market where there's too many beans and much corn being grown. But around here, anyway, we have, plenty of outlets for corn. We sell a bunch of deer corn, multiple chicken facilities around here that, they use the corn, buy the corn to grind feed for the chickens.
We won't ever have not a demand for corn.
I don't see it unless just, ethanol or something goes out. Which, I mean, if soybean market continues to go down and people quit planting corn and start planting more, people quit planting beans and start planting more corn, then,
We won't ever get there. As much corn is used around here.
Cotton's neat. We got a neighbor that grows some cotton, but I just don't know. I just don't see it.
If you got a couple $1 million, do you want to loan us? We'll be glad to grow some cotton for you, but we ain't got the money for it right now.
Matt Minton asked, "Do the women in North Carolina like Coleman's stash?"
That's I don't know. Question. That's not a me question.
Well, if the women's after you.
I don't know.
So you mentioned you gain acres. How many res you gonna have next year? I guess acres.
I'd say we probably maybe double this year. I'd consider it.
We'll be pushing. Now this is row crop acres. We'll be pushing 230, 240 acres probably next year, just depending. We haven't really picked up any this fall or anything. There is a little bit that potentially we've picked up. We're just waiting to see if the property owner. There's going to be some change in property owners there, and we want to make sure that we still can have access to the land. The main landowner that we're going to rent from, or lease from, or farm his ground anyway. Through his property, we don't have enough room to get our equipment through there, but there's an adjacent landowner that they're selling their property, and we could get through there, but until there's a new owner in place, we don't know if we're going to, be able to get in there, and there's no reason us farming it if we can't get in there with a combine or whatever have you. But somewhere around 220 to 240 acres of row crops, and then we've probably... That's
just what we've got right this second. We're still, 4 months roughly from
So hopefully we'll pick up some more. If anybody's watching and you got some land you want to rent out, just get with us, which I'm sure most of you guys probably aren't from around here. But anyway, we've grown. Last year we had around 100 acres. This year we had around 200, so we almost doubled this year. And then we've also got our hay ground. We've got probably 30 or 40 acres we go over, something like that, maybe a little more or a little less.
Too much.
Next year, so this year I sold all my cows, using that money to help pay for my square baler and accumulator, just while the cattle market was really good. So me not having cattle next year, we already have plenty of round bales for this winter and for next winter for my dad and my grandpa's cows. So we're probably not going to raise as much round hay this year. We're going to try to square bale the biggest majority of it if I can keep it clean enough. That being said, we're going to have to look into some more storage options. So probably going to be building a shed this sometime this winter, early spring. So that might be something I can show you guys coming up. But yeah, that pretty well covers our acreage. This year we had about 75 acres of corn, like I said, and then I guess basically the rest of it was beans or double crop beans. We had 35 acres of wheat and then 5 acres of oats. This coming year, what we've got planted now, we've got, I think, around 60 acres of wheat, and then 8 or 9 acres of oats, 10 acres of oats.
You're looking good, by the way.
All right, so do you feel you have room to grow in acres in your area? Yes and no. I mean,
plenty of land around here. Just got to get it.
So right in our area, I'm going to say within a 5-mile radius, there's probably, 10 or 15 farmers.
Or at least.
Most of them are getting older, I'm going to say in the 60s and above. So, I mean, in time, there's going to be, room for growth, I think. Some of those farmers either age out or, start slintering off their acreages and stuff. I think we'll be able to farm some. It all really depends. I kind of figured some of them might start slacking off some with the way the ag economy's been, but this year, luckily, we did have pretty good yields and stuff in our area, at least for depending on when you planted it and everything. That don't help the commodity prices any, but anyway.
Ain't nothing gonna help them.
Matt Griggs said you scheduled on the wrong day. We're still gone and YouTube videos are blocked. Guess I'll have to watch it later. Yeah, Matt, I wanted to wait and do it later, but I know last year I done it on the first day of the year, so I was going to try to make this one the same thing. So we kind of make it like an annual deal, I guess. As long as some people want to watch it, we'll put it on.
It's crazy they blocked it.
Well, they're on the cruise ships, so they probably don't have enough.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure
internet.
most, like Carnal, I'm pretty sure you can watch YouTube on it.
I don't know. Anyway, so this is back to our hay guy. 80 acres of alfalfa, 30 acres of grass hay, approximately 200 bales per year off alfalfa. I'm assuming that's 200 bales
An acre.
That's a lot of hay. That's a lot.
So
of,
if that's the
finance,
case,
new
that's what,
baler and
16,000?
discipline, I only think that halfway scares me is more payments at 20. If you're only 20 years old, you got plenty of time. If you
Really?
got to get a full-time job or an off-farm job, you can do it, and you may already have one. I would definitely recommend, if you're going to go into debt a lot, if you've got your kind of plan in action, you got people to buy the stuff, and I definitely think if you're going to buy stuff and go in debt, go with it while you're early, while your health's good.
I would say, I mean, unless your disc bind is just old and wore out, which I don't know, being you're cutting alfalfa, I don't know what, if there's a special type you got to have, you know, I know you don't want, what, flails on alfalfa, is that right?
I don't even know if you want to run a disc bind on alfalfa. I don't know much about it, but I know
I think you're supposed to run rubber rolls, I think. I mean, unless that's just like a big bottleneck for you, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'd be worried about getting it up more than anything.
Yeah,
I mean, putting it on the ground's the easiest part. Unless you just got a crap load of help. If that's 80 acres at 200 bales, that's what, 16,000 just on alfalfa? That's a lot of hay to get up.
And then you gotta, with alfalfa, you gotta be a lot more careful as far as like, I think some people ted it, but I know a lot of people have like what they call it,
A fluffer? Or
merger,
yeah.
basically flips it straight over very easily so it don't damage the alfalfa leaves. I don't know, we're looking at planting some alfalfa or orchard or both. We just haven't got to that point yet. Maybe next year. I think that's what I said the last 2 or 3 years.
It's kind of, we've just been kicking the can on it.
Matt Minton asked, do you guys run starter fertilizer on your corn?
Chicken litter.
We've got, my planter is set up to run starter. It's still got the starter in it that the guys I bought the planter from had from last year. This year I really just didn't look into doing it. I talked to a lot of people that usually do it, and they weren't doing it just for, price sakes of stuff so expensive and the commodity prices are low. So I wasn't gonna dive off into figuring all that stuff out on a year that it may not make sense. Anyway, I know a lot of people run, not necessarily starter, but they run different things in as a form of starter, not necessarily fertilizer. And I may look into some of that next year, but typically we run about 4 to 5 tons of chicken litter. I put that on anywhere from a week to a month before we plant. And then either right before the planter or right after the planter, I'll come in and burn down the ground. And I usually run somewhere between 20 and 25 gallons of, this year it was 30% UAN. So that, I guess, would be our starter fertilizer. Not putting it in furrow or anything, just putting it on top of the ground. But typically the chicken litter is enough. This year, I think we ran shy on our nitrogen. We did have them top dress it, nutrient top dressed it, probably V8, V6, V8 stage.
Before tassel.
We got it on early this year, but we had such a wet spring and early summer that I feel like we probably lost some nitrogen. And I feel like if we hadn't have put that top dress on it, we would have been really hurting.
I'd say most years we're right on track as far as fertility for it. I mean, like you'd always use more fertility on corn, but usually if it's not dry and hot around here in the summertime, it's a weird year. So this year was a weird year and we ran short, but I'll take that every year versus hot and dry. and have
Alright,
plenty.
so our Hey guy asked, payments are $14K a year on the baler and mower, plus rent/material costs on top of that. Would it be an awful idea to invest $18K into a used grapple/accumulator on top of that? Well, again, let's go back to if you've got the help. I mean, if you've got the manpower and you can pay, if you're gonna find a good farmhand, if you're gonna pick up that many pills, you're gonna have to have several. And, if you can find them, what you're gonna have to pay them, figure that all into everything. Just for us, just finding the people is hard. And it's hard on the people that you do find. But I'm assuming you running that many acres, you're probably gonna be splitting it up over a bunch of different days. You'll probably cut, 20 acres, 30 acres or something and bale it. You're not gonna do all 160 at one time. And just being able to get people, unless you've got several full-time people hired with you, getting those people maybe after they get off of work or on the weekend or something. I feel like that would probably be hard for me to find that. And for me, if I was in your position, I would have an accumulator and a grapple or a bale wagon. What am I looking for? Stack wagon.
I mean,
I would have something.
If you're only paying $14K a year and you've got, you said 200 bales an acre, I'm guessing, on alfalfa. I don't know where you're from, unless you're from like Kansas or Missouri or somewhere where alfalfa don't bring nothing. Around here it brings what, $10, $12 a bale? Absolutely easy. Sometimes more than that. That's $160,000 a year. Unless you're living off this.
And reading down here a little further, he got another comment that says, it's a brand new disc bind square baler from the dealer. Disc bind for speed and ability to crimp, dry down faster. He has a full-time job to the side of the hay. So there you go. I don't know how.
My Lord, I'd be looking for a bale bearing at that point. In my opinion, because if you're making that much money off of the alfalfa a year, it just depends what you want. If you want to keep that money in your pocket, go for it. If you want to spend the money and make it easier for you, go all the way and go to a bale bearing.
The next thing for me is, if you're working a full-time job, how willing or how able are they to work with you? Because, if you're working a 8 to 5 job 5 days a week, it's going to be hard to put up that many square bales on the weekend, in my opinion.
A bearing's the one thing that makes it easy to put up bales.
But when you go to a bearing, you're looking at $150,000 now, and then you need a good tractor too. So
it's very expensive.
The good thing about the accumulators is they're simple, easy to, not much maintenance at all to them. You really don't have to have any electronics or anything for them.
No, a bearing you got to have, usually like an older tractor like ours, if we put on like 986, we'd have a power pack on the back, runs off PTO, and an alternator, it probably runs off the PTO, because they're pulling a lot of power.
This guy wants us to say their name, please. I don't even know what your name is. Pet Lover? Enjoying y'all's videos. Hello from Troy. Man, we got some people watching fairly close by.
Troy's not far, about 20 minutes.
Yep, not bad at all. Welcome to the channel. Let's see, do you know where I can find a bagging scale like you have to bag corn? I bagged 2,200 bags this year, all concrete floor. Easier way to bag it. As far as used ones, I think there is a website online that sells, like, it's kind of like almost like a marketplace type deal where the people list stuff or like that. I've heard you can buy them there, but you can buy them new. We looked at buying one new before. We bought the one we have from a landowner.
We got super lucky.
I think a new one is around $4,000, $4,200, and then you got to pay shipping.
Okay, so before we bought ours, I talked to a guy that's bagged around here for years, and I asked him where he bought his from. And he bought his from an old feed mill, I think, is where he bought it from, and he gave $50 for it like 30 years ago. I told him he was the luckiest person I've ever met, and then Luke found that deal on his, and I told Luke he was probably just as lucky. So luck plays in factor of it, or if you just want to spend the money and buy a $4,000 one, that works too. But
typically they're really hard to find used.
That's the last thing that gets sold at a feed mill is the scales. They'll sell anything else for that. There's no good rhyme or reason how to find them. That's going to be the hardest part to find usually.
The new ones you buy are completely different than ours. I've never actually seen one of ours that you can buy. We've got a couple of neighbors that's got a couple like it, but the new ones, you put them up there, it holds the bag and it dumps it, and then once it's full, it drops the bag.
And it's a game changer compared to, I'm guessing you've got the scale on the floor and doing it like that. I'd help a boy do that one time at the back of the dump truck.
We can bag a pallet in somewhere between about 6 and 10 minutes.
Depending on how fast we're going.
But then you've also got to take it off. You've got to put it on the pallet wrapper. You know, typically we can probably do about 4 pallets an hour without working ourselves too hard. All right, so Colton Run says, tune in to my first Routh Farms live show. Then he asked, how's y'all's winters over there on the East Coast? Pretty mild.
Depends. I mean, last week was 75 degrees, sunny. It felt like summer was here, and Monday morning came around, it was 20 degrees. There was a heavy frost. I mean, it could have snowed Monday morning.
Compared to, I think he's from Illinois, compared to y'all, I mean, it's nothing. Like, we hardly ever see snow.
It depends where you're from.
We do get cold, but it's usually not long. Like, I mean, if we go a couple of days below freezing, you know, not getting above freezing, like, it's cold, people's freaking out. Typically around here, this time of year, we get down into the 20s, maybe upper 20s, lower 30s at night, and then it might be 50s or 60s during the day. It's really hard to get used to it, though.
Yep.
Let's see. All right, Eddie said, quick, temporary, permanent sea freight containers and roofing. You can move from site to site. You have plans for lowboy or land off to move multiple pieces of equipment.
We'd love to have a land off.
See, like right now, all of our farm ground is within 5 miles of here. So right now, we don't really haul anything. Now, we would like to have a lowboy or a land haul or something. In the future, we want to buy a bulldozer or an excavator or both. Something like that we can see, but that's probably a little ways off. We still got other stuff that we need.
I would love to have a land off.
All right, Joe Brown.
As far as
glad
the
to see
containers.
y'all. Watch all of your videos. I'm from Frog Jump, Tennessee.
Never heard of that.
Never heard of it. Where are you in relationship to like Matt and Dylan at?
East, Middle, and West Tennessee. Where are you at in that? Now tell us what.
Matt and them's in Humboldt, and Dylan's in Dyer. Zach Baker, or Brew Baker. Have you considered trucking as another revenue stream? We have. Colin's hauled a couple loads for some other folks. I mean, technically, we're not legally supposed to haul using farm tags for other people, but you know, it happens around here. But yes, we don't know really how to get into that real big. I mean,
Just
we got
kinda
so many other little side ventures going on. It's hard to, you know, somebody asks us to, we will do it, but we're not necessarily going to go out of the way and start advertising for it. And I don't even know that our equipment is good enough shape to be doing a lot of trucking.
Like I said, I bought a rock truck. Now, if that rock truck stays here is due to be determined, but I plan on hauling rock or dirt or something around here for other people. It'd be very local if we did. We wouldn't be going off hours at a time.
All right, where are we at? Let's see.
Eastern Iowa, grass 5 to 7 per bale, alfalfa 6 to 9.
Ooh. So around here, we can get $13 to $20 a bale for alfalfa, so that's kind of crazy. So
Just get a van trailer and start shipping it out this way. You can make more money
now
if you can pay for the shipping for it.
I don't know. You may watch them already, you may not, and I don't know exactly how much she shows of it. But Kayla,
Chronicles of Kayla.
it's Chronicles of Kayla Krasowski. I don't want to mess up their name. I don't know who
Jason.
I'm thinking of. Anyway, Jason and Kayla from Chronicles of Kayla, they do a lot of hay in Missouri, and I know for a fact that they ship a lot of hay this way toward Tennessee. I think he ships some to maybe South Carolina, maybe some to North Carolina, but he can make more money shipping it here than by selling it there local. So might be another, you know, thing to be looking into as you get bigger. Is, you know, I don't know how your local market is, but I would say you could get a lot more if you can get the ability to ship it elsewhere.
For sure.
I mean, like if I could sell it here for 13, if you could ship it to me for 11, you know, you'd be making more money, and then I can make money on it like that. If you can find somebody here that does that. And I'm sure there are people like that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Samuel Chick, keep up the good work. I farm about 2 hours from y'all. Where are you from, Samuel? Are you
East.
assuming South Carolina? I mean, You're either gonna be South Carolina, Virginia, or you're gonna be East Coast. One or the other, probably.
Well, he could be farming in the mountains. I'm
Two-
pretty sure he can.
2 hours is gonna be putting him pretty far in the mountains.
I mean, Mountain Area's an hour and a half, and
Yeah, that's true.
there's a lot of big farmers in Mountain Area.
I've always wanted to see your guys' bagging operation in person. Y'all really do the most with what market has provided us. Around here in Southern Illinois, it takes at least 1,000 acres just to break even, depending on the rent and on ground. Yeah, well, you know, for us, basically everything, all of our equipment's paid for. We don't have, I did take a loan out on my planter, and that's the only thing that I've got a loan on. So, you know, we don't have much overhead.
Everything's
We
old and
both
cheap
work
to work on
full-time
too.
jobs off the farm, so, you know, we're not paying salaries and stuff like that.
We also do all the work to stuff ourselves. We ain't never hired a dealer to come do it, so.
Do that. We use chicken litter. That saves us a lot of money. You know, we've really kind of slimmed the your profit, your cost margin, I guess is what you'd call it. I'm not real business oriented, but we've really slimmed it down. We could go with cheaper seed and kind of cut back on our chemical, I guess. That's about the only other ways we can save money at this point. But after this year, I've seen how good the good corn does, and you know, we're definitely not going to slim it all off. I've had a lot of people asking if I was going to plant like non-GMO corn, and I haven't ruled it out, but I really haven't looked into it enough for what kind of herbicide options I have and stuff like that. So maybe, but I'll have to talk to people around here that have grown it. But the Decab 6835 really, really impressed me this year, and it was the most expensive corn that I planted this year. So definitely going to be planting some more of it on the farm, though.
We don't go spending money willy-nilly though.
I'm thinking I've got a video on YouTube of us running the corn operation at Etna.
You got multiple ones.
So go back. I know I've got one from when we built it. That would have been 3 years ago, I think it was. And then I think I made one last year. Do you still have cow? I do not have cows right now. I've sold all mine back this summer when they were high and used that money to help pay for the baler I bought. My dad and my grandpa still have a few. They slimmed back on their herd too. They've got maybe 5 or 6 mama cows and then some calves. All right, so Phillips Farms, I can do a pallet in 40 minutes with the way I'm currently doing it. Oh my goodness. I would get out of it if I couldn't do it no faster than that. Goodness gracious.
That's a pretty good time for
I guess if you're doing it all by hand with just old
some people I work for, that's a pretty good time.
I can do a pallet by myself probably 15 to 20 minutes. Now I'm having to work hard and I'm gonna be tired after that. I could probably do a couple pallets like that and I'd be give out. What does farm ground rent? He's about 20 miles from that, out in Alamo, Tennessee.
Yeah, it just depends what ground you're talking about. Some of it's free, some of it's north of $100, $150 an acre. Just depends.
I know I've got some buddies that farm about an hour away too, and they do a lot of, not sharecropping, but like a percentage split. And, you know, I know some good years he's paid upwards of $300 an acre. So I would say anywhere from $0 to $300 an acre. Now, right here around home, it's not quite that high, but
it's fair down here, but there's a lot of
we don't have urban sprawl that other parts of the country, you know, a couple counties overdo either. Not where we're at anyway.
Hamptonville, I think that's west. I think
that's towards the beach, ain't it? Sounds like towards the beach.
I'm pretty sure that's towards the west, if I'm not mistaken.
You mentioned wanting a dozer and or excavator. Why are you wanting those? I'd love to have an excavator just because they're cool as crap. I'd love to have it to push off, you know, edges of the fields, clean up around the edges and stuff like that. Eventually, I'd like to have the idea of a lot of people around here will buy a piece of ground and they'll start digging rock and dirt out of it and sell the dirt and rock to help pay for the ground. You know, I don't know, stuff like that. If we have I would have the ability to pick up more ground and clean up ground, maybe buy ground and log it and clean it up if I had that equipment. Don't know really. I mean, just it'd be fun.
There's always a use for an excavator and a dozer. Hamptonville's Surrey County, so it's west. I actually sent a truck up there a couple weeks ago that way.
My grandpa's farm, 220 acres, barely stays afloat even with all the owned equipment and ground. Just bad seasons, high input costs. 80 him. Hard used to farm 1,800 acres and have a bunch of hogs. Well, so Colton, I'll tell you too. You can tell me down here and let me know what y'all are getting for corn and beans there. But I know here we're getting a lot of what I've seen, at least $1 more per bushel on our corn and our beans than like Illinois and Iowa. I mean, I sold most of my corn right around $5. I think I sold a couple truckloads for like a 507 maybe, and then we sold some beans or early beans. We sold for 1040 or 1050, and then we sold another load for like 1150 I think, or 1140. So we definitely have a lot better basis. For the most part, all year we've had a positive basis. Our corn, people we sell our corn to, we've had like a 75-cent plus basis. Beans started off around 30, then they dropped to nothing, and I think they're back up to about 30 cents now.
We like I said, unless the chickens leave and the hogs leave in eastern North Carolina, and the turkeys, I guess, turkeys are in eastern North Carolina still. Unless them leave, we will have a market for corn for the rest of our lives because we have Mount Air, Purdue, and then all the hog facilities, Smithfield, all of them. There's millions of bushels coming to North Carolina every week to get processed for food for chickens and hogs.
How many bushels of deer corn do you sell? So this year has been kind of slow. We usually sell, a bunch, but the corn crop in North Carolina this year was pretty good. So there's been a lot of people selling corn with the lower costs or with the lower commodity prices and stuff.
It just depends on the year.
I would say we probably sell 2,000 to 3,000 at least.
Last couple of years.
More than that. We usually sell
It just depends on the year. Some years we have, like last year was really good because a lot of what hurt this year, I think, is rain. It never rained and it never rotted the acorns out at all. Now last year there wasn't no acorns out, so the deer had to eat on something. So it just depends on the year. I'd say between 2,000 and 6,000 would be pretty close.
We don't really sell it per bushel per se. We get a 50-pound bag, and we get typically $8. If they buy like a pallet, it's $7.50 a bag, which works out. You're gaining 6 pounds per bag. So realistically, you're probably looking at $8.50 or something in a bushel, something like that. Mm. So considerably higher than selling it wholesale. But now I do have the cost of paying my guys to bag it, and I've got the cost of the pallet, the bags, the electricity, the wear and tear on my equipment. You got the plastic for the pallet wraps, that kind of stuff. So you eat up, I would say, a good $1 to $1.25 of that in overhead. Mm-hmm. We rent ground around here is $300 or higher, and buying ground $8,000 to $15,000, depending on the slope and location of the farm. Land around here is usually $10,000 or more an acre, just because we do have the urban sprawl. People want to build houses in the country. Now rent is not that high right here, thankfully.
North Carolina is one of the fastest growing states in America. Yeah. So thankfully we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but an hour south of us is Charlotte, and then an hour north of us is Greensboro, and an hour and a half east of us is Raleigh. So we're always kind of going to be there's going to be more urbanization here.
All right, so have you thought about building chicken houses so you don't have to buy litter? Yes, we have. My wife she actually went to school for poultry science. She has a 4-year degree in poultry science. Would love to have chicken houses. Couple issues with that, at least right now. We don't have the land. We'd have to buy the land, which you add that on top of the high interest prices and just what it costs to build something now. I don't really imagine them cash flowing. We did look. There was a neighbor, I guess 2 or 3 years ago, selling some older houses, and we kind of looked into that a little bit, what it would take to take those houses and make them productive again. And it just, at that time, it wasn't worth it. So I hope so one day, but we'll just see. We'll see how everything goes, and I don't know. I would love to have some, or at least I think I would love to have some. For the litter, and then Two, maybe I could keep my family at home. We wouldn't have to go off work, off farm jobs. I'll probably always do electrical work unless we just get big enough that I don't have to. But like my wife, she works a separate job. She's a organic auditor, and I'd love it for her to not have to go to off the farm.
Yeah, awesome.
Country Punk Studio says because we had so many acorns, deer didn't eat it like normal. I agree with you. And then we also didn't have those. A lot of times we'll have a late hurricane or something, and it'll rot a lot of those acorns.
And another thing about him saying about the litter, really around here, litter's not a huge problem, so we wouldn't have to have houses for that. And it's not like we pay an absorbent amount as it is for litter. So
Colton says the farm it works for, the massive grain system, they have 1.6 million, almost 1.7 million bushels. They can hold out grain all year long, normally selling 30 to 50 cents over at market normally, but we truck 2 to 3 hours. So our soybeans go, I'll probably around 2 hours away to Fayetteville. And then our corn is a 45-minute ride in a car. You're probably looking at 50 minutes, 55 minutes in a road tractor. So we're closer there.
But the crazy thing is, he said 1.68 million bushels. If they can hold that much, they couldn't hold Candor over for a week and a half.
Yep.
That's Mountain Air Farms that runs around here. They use roughly 1 million bushels a week of corn. So this is what we've been told.
Well, it's 2-3 hour round trips. That ain't too bad, but I always thought people out like Illinois and Iowa, I thought y'all had places everywhere to sell corn.
No, I figured they were right next door, 2-minute drive down the road, didn't he?
We've got places closer. We can sell it, 35 minutes away, but you're going to take a dollar hit on beans and probably that on corn. So it's just,
well, corn,
you've already got it on the truck. You might as well haul it.
Corn, the closest place is a feed mill. So,
what would be your first 5 purchases in 2026?
Anything
you
that's
wish
cheap.
to have and why, if you can say.
Anything that's cheap. What we need, we could use another auger. I mean, we kind of fixed that. A new auger would be nice. A new drill would be nice. This is all nice stuff. This is not stuff we need.
We'll let Coleman do his wish list, and I'll do my wish list. So he said auger and a bigger drill.
I would love to have a hopper bottom, but that's not going to happen. The only reason I don't want a hopper bottom is just because it takes time dumping with a dump wagon. Another dump truck, a nicer dump truck, I should say.
A tandem is what he's getting at, like a rock truck.
To haul litter with. We fixed that somewhat, but not really.
Got one more.
That's hard. I mean,
I'll think about it a minute. All right. So for me, if I could, my first purchase, if I had the money, would be a big shed. I priced a 60 by 100 shed.
That's not equipment, though.
Well, it just says purchases. It doesn't say equipment.
Okay. I thought it said equipment.
So I would love to have a shed, a big equipment shed where we can put our straw and our hay. We're gaining more wheat ground this year, so we're going to have more straw. We're going to try to do all our hay in square bales, so that takes up room. So we are probably going to purchase a shed, but it's just going to be a significantly smaller one, and we're going to build it ourselves. But I do have a price. Probably not going to happen this year, but I've also said that about every other thing we bought this year, and it was able to buy it. So if the Lord's willing, maybe we'll be able to build our shed.
Anything's possible.
But I would like to have a 60 by 100, just open shed. I'll close in the sides, and then eventually build 30-foot lean-tos off each side. My wife and I were actually able to purchase 10 acres of land this year. I haven't showed it on YouTube for whatever reason, but that's where we plan to build it. I eventually plan to build some grain bins and stuff on there and move all of our grain bagging set up and everything over there. So eventually, that's the plan when money's available.
Land.
Yeah, any land I would love to purchase, but let's see. Past that, I would love to have a tie grapple to get up straw with. Like I was saying earlier, the grapples we got now, they just claw it, pick it up, and whenever you release it, all 10 bales are separate. I would love to have a tie grapple, which basically squeezes them all and puts a row of string around it, just to make it that much easier hauling. Not a big purchase, but I've been thinking about buying a flatbed for the peat, maybe like a 48 or 50-foot flatbed, just something to haul straw and hay from the field to the farm with, just something so we can haul that much more. Not necessarily something I've got to have, but I mean, you can find those for a couple $1,000, so not that big of a deal. That's
These are
something
all
we
just
probably
wants.
could have.
These are all just wants. None of these are really needs. This year, we filled our needs list by a lot.
If
We
I had
needed
the
a
money,
bunch.
I would probably buy I'm gonna say newer tractor, something.
Full drive.
Yeah, four-wheel drive, something maybe 175, 200 horsepower.
78,
So that as we
10.
grow, we can, expand our equipment, get bigger stuff.
Be nice
That's
to
not
have.
necessarily something we need, just something that'd be nice to have.
It'd be nice to have like a 7810 or a 88,000 series deer or a boxcar Magnum, something like that. Bigger horse tractor. Definitely not needed right now. We don't have nothing that needs that horsepower. A field cultivator would be nice.
Yeah.
For the little
I
bit
guess
of
the
tillage.
only other thing I can think of would be service truck. I would like to sell my small pickup now and buy a service truck that I could use for my electrical business as well as the farm.
Really, right now, we're in a pretty good spot as far as all of our equipment fits our needs pretty good, I think. We're not too big yet.
So we're wrapping down. We've got 10 more minutes before the video goes live, or at least I think we do. We got
7 minutes.
7 minutes, sorry.
No, it goes live at 8:35.
Yeah, it's 8:35, so we got 12 more minutes. So any questions you have, go ahead and get them coming. That way we can be working on them.
Taking us a while when they spit it up.
Do you plan to get back into cattle if the market comes down the next couple of years? It just depends.
Nah.
I've got a feeling the hay market's probably going to crash because there's so many people that have sold cows and there's going to be so many people making hay now. If that happens, then maybe my dad and them still have some. Biggest thing for us is where we have our cows at are small enough areas that you can't really have enough to be worthwhile. Anywhere you've got a cow herd, you've got to have your catch pen, your working area, and all that stuff. And all that stuff costs a lot of money. If you had 100 acres on a place and you could have 100 cows, that would be worth a lot more worthwhile than me having 5 cows where my cows were. So
I think the biggest thing if we could ever get into cows would be maybe like not necessarily raising cows anymore. We've always done mom calf operation. I think it'd be cool to get into buying and selling cows and feeding them out and whatnot, but I don't see there's a whole lot of money around here for that.
we don't have issues losing ground to housing, but the last 3 years solar fields have been popping up faster than I can count. They pay really good. The farm I work for just out 1,200 acres of solar.
Solar's a big problem around here too.
We've got quite a bit of it coming. There's actually probably a 400-acre farm coming anytime now. Not right here next to us, but within about 10 miles.
It just depends if Trump gets rid of the push for solar or not.
Pretty good incentive from the chicken companies right now. Who do you, do you grow chickens, A.L. Phillips?
There's always
Be
a good
something
incentive
to
for it.
look into, I guess. I would love to have some. I just don't know. It's a lot of risk.
And it's a lot of work. A lot of work.
We would be a lot more inclined to do it if we could get like an organic contract, just because of the way they pay monthly, or at least the companies around here do. They pay monthly versus per flock. And my wife also, being an organic auditor, she likes the organic side of things. But I think we would be a lot more leaning towards doing it if we could do something like that, or broilers, or one of the ones, broilers, breeders, something that pays a little more than just broilers. But who knows what we'll do. Something I would love to do one day. Are you able to move all of your straw? What is your market for straw?
Straw goes.
We do a lot of them. A lot of marketplace. I've been selling it long enough now. A lot of people just text me and call me wanting it, and then I've got a customer that owns a landscaping company, and he pretty much agrees to buy anything that I make. We put it in the shed, and then him and his crew come and load van trailers.
Straws, there's no issue getting rid of it usually.
Some years it's worse than others.
It's slower.
Like last year it was slow. We didn't sell out till probably February or March. This year we were gone by like October, I think.
November.
So maybe it was November.
This year was good.
Do you see a big difference stacking on trailers with a regular grapple versus a tie grapple? I don't have a tie grapple, so I can't answer that. But I have watched videos of people using them, and I have hauled some that was tied using a tie grapple, and I can see it being night and day. Now this year, us going from our old square baler to the new square baler,
Big difference.
That was a big difference in and of itself, stacking. And the more you do it with an accumulator grapple or a grapple, the better you'll get with it, making them really good and tight. But you don't have to be as picky with a tie grapple, I don't think.
No.
With the ground you bought, how much is tillable? So we bought 10 acres, and all 10 acres is tillable.
That's a rare thing in North Carolina.
And it actually extends on over to about 12 more acres that I'm renting. So hopefully one day I can buy it too.
Usually ground you buy 100 acres, 30 of it's not tillable, it's trees.
Yeah, so all 10 of my acres are tillable. But I guess if we put a shed on them, all 10 are not going to be tillable.
Yeah.
Jason Allen says, I'm in Moxville. I'm assuming Moxville, North Carolina, raising pumpkins and hogs. Love watching y'all's content. What you two guys get accomplished. Love seeing Grandpa in the videos. Yeah, we are too. We love seeing Papa. We had to get it out a year or two ago. I didn't know if he was going to make it. Our grandma actually passed away almost 2 years ago, I guess. And
Valentine's Day.
I think that was kind of holding him back. He was taking care of her. But since she passed, probably in the last year and a half, he's really gained a lot of traction, and he's down here almost every day watching us. Especially being out, I've got a new combine. It's got a buddy seat. If we're in the combine and if the combine's in the field, he's there.
If the combine's moving, he's there.
So
if the wheels are turning, he's usually there.
Happy New Year to you as well. It was good talking to y'all tonight. Hope y'all have a blessed 2026 growing season. Keep up the hard work, good content. Well, I appreciate it, brother. Hopefully 2026 is as good for us, if not better, and hopefully for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
What about just farming organic?
That's hard around here.
I don't see it working around here. We have so much rocks and stuff. I don't see you being able to do the amount of tillage that you need. And we have such a problem with weeds already. I'm not saying it ain't possible, but I don't see how.
I don't see the value of it either, being the fact we'd have to truck it 4+ hours away.
My wife did go to school with she was good friends with one of her female friends, and then she married a farmer towards the eastern part of the state, and they done organic for a few years, and then I think they almost lost their crop one year to some insects or something, and after that they got out of it. It's a tough thing. I mean, if you can make it work, the prices are a lot better, but you can also lose your butt in a hurry, from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions before we get off of here? We got just a couple more minutes, and our 2025 recap video will be online. Still got 25 people. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot better than last year.
I hope he can too. He farmed for a long time with some. He worked hard. He worked really, really hard for what he's got. And I'm blessed that he was willing to let me use some of his equipment and still use his sheds and stuff and farm some of his land. Just super blessed that he was devoted enough in his youth and growing up till I think he finally retired in 2021. Grateful that he kept going and got what he got and let me use it, and I've taken over. And I think he loves watching us grow. He's said it multiple times that I'm a lot better farmer than him, which I don't know that I'm that much better of a farmer than him. Stuff just come a long way since he was farming. Chicken litter's a big thing too. He always used conventional fertilizer, but just glad he's able to come watch us and see us grow, and hopefully he's proud of us.
We wouldn't be half the farmers we were without help of some of the other people that we met.
We've had lots of neighbors and older farmers and stuff around that's helped us out over the last, 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, baby, it's getting cold here in this building.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, we're gonna go for about another minute, unless y'all have some more questions for us. Now y'all have a grain cart. How much you notice it speeding up your operation?
Tremendous.
I don't know that it speeds it up as much as what it could, because we don't have the trucks to keep up with it, but it is super nice having it in the field where I can fill up the truck, then he can start hauling it, and then we can fill the cart up and fill the combine up. I mean, just an extra 500 bushels of storage in the field is just worth its weight in gold to me.
Yep.
And being able to come, because some of our fields we can't get our semi to it, just having that ability to get from a bad spot to the road has been really handy. Nice hat, Colin. That's Nathan.
About time for a new one, Nathan. This one's getting kind of
His is about wore
nasty.
out.
I'll get 2 or 3 of them next time I go see him.
Thanks for reading the questions. Really looking forward to 2026 and the videos come. I'm hoping to do a better job this year with the videos. That's what I said last year to myself. I wanted to do more and kind of keep up more with the farm, and it's just so easy to fall behind. It takes a considerable amount of time to edit these things and just all the equipment, getting it filmed. And I'm trying to get this sucker here to film a little more of himself so he can get his side of the farm. But anyway, we look forward to it, and hopefully it'll be a really good year for all of us. Does the International handle the grain cart good? I'm going to let Colin answer that because he's the one who drove it.
Everybody told me that tractor gets shoved around. Never, not once did I feel uncomfortable in that tractor pulling that grain cart.
I'd been scared without the new tires and the duals.
Oh, yeah.
Now
Duals make a world of difference.
Much more better.
Now, I have had it a time or two spin. I was going up a hill, and I got pretty worried that it was going to start spinning out, but I've never had it push me. Now, I've always took it slow. If you run that thing like you would with like a 250 horsepower four-wheel drive tractor, yeah, it's going to get scary, but...
Zach Group Baker says, enjoy the videos, keep them up, like the day-to-day ones. I'm hoping to keep up with a video a week. If I can do that, that's pretty good. That's a lot, but kind of do what we do in that week in the video. The problem is, me working, doing my electrical business full time, and then coming home and farming. Most of the time it's dark by the time we get home and start working on stuff. So anybody that has ever tried to video anything in the dark, it's tough, and to actually be able to see something. So we'll do what we can to bring out some good videos and stuff for you guys. And if there's anything y'all want to see in particular, like the bagging operation, or if you want to do a really deep dive into the square baling stuff this spring, let me know. Leave it in the comments. Leave a comment on another video. Shoot me a message on Facebook or something. And for anybody also that's here that is interested in more like faster updates on stuff, I do Snapchat. If you want to see stuff on the daily, that's the best way. Let's see. Live streams here and there, add a lot. Yeah, it's just tough to do live streams because for me it's hard to schedule something out like that. Because I don't know what's going to be going on with the electrical business or with the farm. So it's hard to schedule it so that people actually know that we're having it.
It'd be cool to do them like a guy that I watch that does bobcat repair. He does them.
He does it weekly.
It'd be cool to do that, but it'd be hard to do that.
We'll try to work on doing more.
Maybe every couple months or something.
I would have worried about the duals, but damn, it looks like it handles it no problem with those.
I ain't had a problem.
It really does, which I mean we haven't really been on hills that much. We have on some hills, but I mean
I went down a pretty steep hill with 500 bushel behind it.
We're also pretty dry, so
yeah,
it'd be a little more sketchy if it was wet. But
definitely, if you got a similar tractor, duals is a must in my opinion. It'd be hard to run that with a single wheel tractor now. And have it weighted to the ground good. If you don't have weights, it'd be hard.
Video a week, fantastic. How about purchasing a light plant for night filming? Well, Coleman actually had a light plant, but he sold it. So, but I mean, still with that, I mean, it's tough. Filming at night is just tough.
And then you'd have the generator back there humming in the background. Nobody wants to listen to that thing run.
I'm gonna try to do better.
Sometimes it's just hard to video.
We're gonna wrap this one up, you guys. Appreciate all you guys watching. Appreciate all you guys watching throughout the year, or however long you've been with us. There's a video. It's probably already out now. It's the recap for the year. Hopefully you guys will take time to watch it. Just kind of hits the little highs and stuff of our season this year, of all of our purchases and different things. It was fun for me going back and watching it all and just remembering all the issues we had and stuff. But y'all go back and watch that. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. I don't have anything videoed yet, so it may not. Hopefully I'll have something out next week, but it may be the following, just because we haven't really done a whole lot here on the farm the the last.
We've took it easy for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, the last month since we got done harvesting, we pretty much took it easy. We haven't even cleaned up any of the equipment yet, so I guess that can be a video cleaning up the equipment.
I don't know if it'll get cleaned up.
Oh,
We're not very good on cleaning equipment up.
be cool. You guys do a live stream recap once planting season is over and like when we harvest and grain crop. That's what I've tried to do in the past, and I'll try to do that again this year. I like to do one kind of before harvest and then after harvest, just so you guys can ask questions about harvest or what the crops are looking like and stuff like that. But we'll see how it goes. And everyone keep in mind these guys got more to do than farm. Bless you, boys. Yes, thank you. Like I said, own my own electrical business. Coleman works for me. So we do that whenever we're needed. That's kind of what pays the bills. And then we farm when we come home and on the weekends. So this year we had it really well. We were able to take some time off and get our harvest done. But it's a lot once you do that all day and then come home and you got to work on stuff and try to get stuff ready and then just throwing the whole filming and videoing and on top of that, it's a lot. So, well, thank you guys. Y'all go watch the next video and we'll see you guys later. Appreciate y'all watching.
See y'all.